I'm Amy from Doodle Dog Designs. If you've been thinking about making a gripper strip frame, you are probably wondering about the gripper strips, where to get them, how to cut them. So today in this video, I'm going to show you how to cut them and talk about where I get mine. So I have this frame here that my dad has made. He is my woodworker, and it is all finished and ready to put the gripper strip on. As you can see, it has a hole in the bottom here, which is super nice if you're doing punch needles, so you can turn it over and look at your progress as you work, since you work from the back side. So these gripper strip frames are really good for punch needle and rug hooking both. I order my gripper strip frames from Howard Brush Company. The wires come in 3 different sizes, and I choose the middle size because EH5 works good with fine fabrics for punch needle, and EH3 is good for your heavier rug hooking fabrics like burlap and linen. So I choose the middle one so I can use the gripper strip frame for both rug hooking and punch needle, and it works really well. The strips come in 40-inch segments, and they are about 1 1/4 inch wide, and that's important to know for your woodworker when they're making the frame, so they will know how big to make it. So my edges here are 2 inches wide, so there's plenty of room to put the strips, and so these are designed so that the 40 inches I can cut it into 4 equal 10-inch sections, and it will fit just right all the way around. I do have a digital woodworking plan for this frame, and I'll put a link in the description below. So now let's get started measuring and cutting our gripper strip. So first we're going to measure and make a mark on the back of the gripper strip where we're going to cut. So since we want these in 4 equal sections, we're going to measure in 10-inch segments. Now this next step, we're going to take out the wires that are in the line here. It's important to note when you're doing this that the strips angled this way. You can really tell it if you rub your hand against it this way, it's smoothish, but if you rub it against this way, it's going to be very sticky. It's important to note which way the wires are bent, and then we will pull them out working with that instead of against it on the back side here. So we're using an awl here, and we're just pulling out each one of the little staples, the wires that is right in line with the measured line that we drew. And if these aren't pulling out easy, you can just turn the cloth the other way and try it that way. Like I said before, if you're pulling the wrong way against the bend of the staples, it will be hard to pull out. Now with the teeth side down and on a cutting board or your cutting mat, you want to use a utility knife to cut along the line there. The gripper strips are all cut to length, and now when you put them together, they need a little bit of an angle cut off each of the corners so that it will all fit together. I'll show you over here on this finished one. So with cutting the angle right there at the edges, it's a 45-degree angle, then it allows us to fit all of the gripper strips together. Now if your frame was a different size and shape, you might not need to do this step. But what we're going to do is come in, measure 1/4 inch this way and 1/4 inch this way, and make a line, and then pull out any staples that are in that area also. And we're going to go ahead and do that on both edges just so it has a consistent look. We're measuring 1/4 inch each direction so that it will be a 45-degree angle. Then just going to draw a line connecting the two. So for these small pieces, you could use the utility knife again, or you could use diagonal cutting pliers. Shakes for a minute. Now we're going to measure down 1/4 inch from each of the inside edges and mark a pencil line, and that will be where we run the strips right up against. When you put the gripper strips on the frame, you want to make sure that the wires are pointing out. When you feel against it, it will be somewhat smooth going away from the center of the frame. But if you put your finger and go this way, it's going to be very pokey. So you want to make sure that it goes this way, and that way when the fabric is there, it will grip the fabric and hold it tight. I'm just going to line these up on the line that was drawn. Make sure all of them are going the right way. And to attach these, we're going to use a air stapler. So you can see how nicely these fit together with the 45-degree cuts there at the edges. I just want to make sure that it all fits nicely before we start stapling together. We're going to use an air stapler, and we have 3/8 inch staples, and you would want to decide how long your staple should be based on how thick your wood is. You don't want them to be too long that they poke through the bottom of your wood. So we're going to put the staples in the edge of the gripper strips where it doesn't have any teeth. Be sure to click the like button and subscribe below. I'll see you next time. Bye.